Hi everybody, it's Maria. How are you? Um, I haven't been given my medication for the past 2 weeks, so it's been difficult. And it's coincidental that I had those 2 glasses of wine that I mentioned about 2 weeks ago. So it's been very difficult. I can't concentrate very well. And the fact is that I'm bipolar. That I do this task here, that I do that task there, doesn't mean that I am able now to go outside and do what I usually do, which is civil patrolling, which I've mentioned before. The police knows I do it. I do it voluntarily. I did it in Bogota, now I do it here. They know, that little blonde chick, especially little. I'm 5'8". I'm different to the rest of the population. I go with a friend who is also different to the rest of the population, so they know how it is. And I haven't been able to do that again, which is really fun for me because of the mafia and guerrilla and all those things that are very interesting sociologically. And then, since I'm linked to this community, I write emails or bulletins every month to be able to report on that, which I think is really interesting. It's like a hobby. So it's cool. It's cool. It's fine. But what's very, very difficult is that people don't respond to the the reward. Yes. To the, what do you call that? I don't earn any money from patrolling, from the community, from any of those things. At least, if they know I'm doing it, most likely they do. This shit is all over the internet. At least give me my medication. Though sometimes I feel like I'm so paranoid that I think that guy found out about the wine and the punishment is you have no more medication. Like, I don't even have the right to. He smokes weed every day. He drinks alcohol every day. He's crazy, but I'm not me. That's the way going. Or, I'm just bipolar, which is what the diagnosis is. And they said take your medication. Take your medication. And that's it. Sleep. Get off the drugs. So I'm off the drugs. I sleep. I eat, the food that I think is good for you. I don't eat meat. I'm a very calm person, peaceful. But if people look, to me I'm an American. There's a guy here like that, I'll get pissed because he's looking for a fight, and that's it. That's the worst that happens in my life. And yeah, and and that's it. That's it. People will definitely go ahead and accuse you of being this or that, and people will definitely continue to to continue to taunt you because you're different. I'm the only chick here with a shaved head, with some blonde shit there. Short, tall, fat, thin. Yeah. I'm the only one with a room. I get packages. I do this. I do that. So it's it's weird for the rest of the people here. So it's a little difficult. And on top of the fact, if I don't sleep because they don't give me my sleeping medication because I'm suffering from insomnia, it gets even more difficult. So it's I'm trying to tell my mom, let's move on, and it's tough. Anyway, I mentioned this guy Paul before, and he's great. He's cute. He's wonderful, and he's the type of person that will stick to what he's been doing, I guess. And since I had mentioned that I have known him for about 7 years, and we talked on and off for about 2 to 3 years. It was nice, but I had to go into rehab, which has been relatively good, relatively bad. It's okay here. It's I could be in the same sort of place over there in Bogota, and it's changed so much that people rather live like in La Sabana, which is where I live, like an hour away from from um, from Bogota, but it's full of like beauty parlors with ladies with long hair and big boobs. It's not that cool. Here you see a couple of people that are like white and a little alternative, and that I think that's really cool. And what the hell did that have to do with Paul? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, the point is that the guy's cool. He's there. We talk. It's fine. It's one of the most it's one of the most entertaining things of the day to write him in the morning, to write him at night. And if people aren't ready to get into a relationship, well, you just don't. And I laid it out on the line that I was looking for a boyfriend from the UK or the US to either live here in Colombia or over there. And he continued to write. He didn't say yes or no or yes. But he said he stopped dating a girl about 2 weeks ago, which is right around the time that we started talking. So girlfriend or not, girlfriend, you're over there, I'm over here. He's still there. He's been very kind, very chivalrous. He's a really, really sweet guy. Alternative, seems like he's into art and stuff like that. I'm getting to know him in that aspect now. Before it was very, very difficult, very, very different. And that's it. I hope he's not involved with his own. Like this guy said to me last night, he speaks English, he's like, the government, and I'm like, oh, I just hope he's not a bipolar too, because I need someone healthy to help me throughout the time that I have left. And I've mentioned, my ailments besides the bipolarity. So, that's practically why, I looked for him, because, you just need something to at least your emotions be strong enough and balanced enough to see what fate has for you. It's not easy. So, I don't believe in conspiracies of the government against you because you're bipolar or you take medications. I don't believe in that anymore. I used to in 2001. This kid's like 36 or something, and he doesn't take his medication. He's very, very weird, and he comes off speaking like an American soldier when his English is a little like that, Maria. But he's white, and he's a little off there, I think. It's my perspective. And he sits here and starts yelling and screaming about his ideals and the government. And if you talk to a doctor, he'll lock you up because you take your medication. All these really weird things where my perspective, according to what I've lived, is like, you take your medication, you get away from La Rumba, or your friends who come over and party, and you live your life independently from them. And you're responsible at 40, and like you do as the doctor says you should, because you've been diagnosed with a fucking illness. Sometimes people don't do that. Anyway, this is a rehab community. Although you girls may or may not be in rehab yet or still. I know the girls that are in my list, famous or not, are girls that you just go through those things before you're 20, after, whatever. So, just take your medication, get off the liquor, and just, take care of yourselves, because, it's difficult to live life like, whatever. They're crazy like that. People notice, they throw you out, and he's not smoking weed, he's not doing marijuana, but he's crazy, and the guy's about to leave. Alright, don't be irresponsible.